you're looking for a car, recreational vehicle, or a home, Central Minnesota Federal Credit Union works to keep rates low and provides quality service to make borrowing easy.
Now later here at the Sign Bar in Cold Spring, celebrating the 1988 state championship team from ROCORI. 1988 team went 26-0 on their way to the state Class 2A title in 1988. Brian Akervik, one of the key cogs to the championship run for ROCORI. Brian, just talk about those 3 games at the state tournament, how fun they were, and what it was like coming back to Cold Spring, the state champions.
All right. Well, initially, as you know, we drew Wilmer in the first round, which was kind of a disappointment to us, not from the standpoint that we didn't want to play them, but we'd seen them twice already. We knew they played us really tough, so it does make you nervous to have to face a team that knows you that well 3 times, especially when the stakes are that high. And, you know, we kind of predicted right. As it turns out, during that game, which we played at Williams Arena, they had us down pretty much the entire game. And I think if I remember correctly, we were talking about it earlier tonight, we ended up down about 10 points with about 6 minutes left, and I know we were down by 9 again at some point with, you know, just a few minutes left. And I can remember some of us talking at a timeout or a TV timeout about, all right, guys, you know, here's the deal. We've gone too far. We've won 23 games in a row. We're not going to go down this way. So no matter what happens, let's just turn up the heat a little bit on them for these last couple minutes and see what we can do. You know, don't leave anything on the floor, basically. So, and that game ended up, you know, going into overtime. We tied it up towards the end of the game. We just about won it on a last-second heave, but sent it into overtime, and then we got a little bit of a lead on them. And they ended up with 2 or 3 shots right at the buzzer to tie it again, but missed all 3 of them, and we moved on. So, you know, really the interesting thing about that game is there was so much emotion and so much up and down, and then going into overtime, so much adrenaline, that after that game, you know, the next worry was, oh my gosh, how are we going to be able to get up again tomorrow for the next game and have that same type of intensity? And we ended up playing a Cloquet team that we really didn't know a lot about. Watched their game after our Wilmer game, but it was kind of hard to tell really what we were going to be up against. Ended up starting that game flat, just like we expected. You know, the day before we left everything on the floor, so we did come out flat. We got down right away. They had one of their wings who hit about 3 or 4 3-pointers right away in the first half and kind of had us behind. But really, I think that game was just about us not panicking. We started to play our type of basketball. We moved the ball around well. We took good shots, climbed back into it, and basically from halftime on, we had them pretty much where we wanted to and didn't make mistakes that would allow them back in the game, and so that one worked out in our favor. So then going into the championship, now we're all obviously incredibly excited. I can't even describe how excited as a young athlete you are to be in that position, and unless you've been there, there's really no way to describe the amount of adrenaline, the amount of emotion that goes into that type of thing. But I think if you would have had a videotape in that locker room, it would have been pretty hard for anybody to be convinced that we weren't going to win that ball game regardless. There was not any sense of nervousness. There was just this quiet, calm confidence that we were going to go out there and get the job done. So that game, again, they had a shooter come out and started hot, and we switched defenses a couple times to try to slow him down, which seemed to work. And again, it was more of the same. Jeff dumping in a bunch of points, you know, the rest of us scoring, you know, when we needed to, and we just kind of methodically chipped away, got the lead in the first half, and kind of held the lead most of the way through the second half. And, you know, I can specifically remember there being a minute left in the game, or right around there, when we were stopped shooting free throws, and Craig Ehrlichman and I were out at half court just kind of looking at each other, just going, you know, is this for real? Are we really going to pull this off and get this done? And we're like, you know what, we're going to get this thing done. Let's close it out. And so, you know, the game ends, the buzzer goes off, everybody goes absolutely crazy.